Welcome to Undiscovered Traders. Today we're talking to Naoufel.
Even if you're 40% right most of the time, you will still make money.
He is up near the $250,000 mark. Can I have your algorithm? Can I give you like $10 a month for it? Or $15 a month? Or is it's not for sale? Welcome to Undiscovered Traders, the podcast that focuses on the charts, stats, and edge of the latest six-figure verified traders who have not been interviewed before. Today we're talking to Naoufel, originally from, is it Morocco?
Yes.
But now in Montreal, Canada. He is up near the $250,000 mark. We're going to go through his profit curve, some stats, and an insight into his algorithmic style, which is really interesting. We don't get too many. But first, how are you? How's the life of a full-time trader in Canada?
I'm good. Thanks for asking, Stefan. And first of all, thanks for having me. Canada, as you know, have a winter pretty rough, so we're gonna start there. So I'm gonna present myself. I was born and raised in Casablanca City in Morocco.
Nice.
And at the age of 13, my family immigrated in Canada. So I've been trading algorithmically since 2013, full time. So my journey started with a deep passion with financial market, but I quickly realized that emotion often cloud the decision making. That's when I turned to algorithmic trading, where I could build system to automate my strategy, removing the emotional component and make data-driven decision. Also, another way why I choose algorithmic trading is because, like many other, I've tried chat room, follow trader account, subscribe to Trading Signal, and as you know, most of them didn't deliver. And I eventually came across a website that's audit financial gurus, and it asked them to provide financial statement and or tax document to provide to prove they trade with their real money. And the only one who could prove their track record were algorithmic trader. From then on, my algo journey started. I trade mainly breakout. I don't know if you're familiar between breakout or mean reversion. Breakout algo tend to have low winning rate. So you have around 40% success rate. So that may sound counterintuitive, but you can be profitable even if you have 40% success rate. The key here is to have nice win to loss ratio. So if you risk 100, you need to make 200. Even if you're 40% right most of the time, you will still make money.
Let's have a quick look at your profit chart to see how you're doing. I'm curious how you literally started to learn this entire thing, but I absolutely understand the 40% win rate when you're picking up 2 to 1, 3 to 1. As a former short seller, I used to have or still a short seller. I used to boast an 80% win rate, but then I would lose all of the money that I'd gained in a single day. So on the one that went wrong. So we know we're all familiar with the risk reward concepts. But yeah, if you want to just share screen, we'll bring up we'll take a look at your Kinfo. Nice, yeah. So this is your algorithmic account.
So this is my year-to-date profit. I can remove the date. This is one account, so I have multiple accounts, but for the sake of transparency, I've connected this one. So as you see, the tracking start in late 2018, start 2019 until now. You can see my equity chart is a little bit wiggly, not like the short seller. It's pretty smooth, but after that you see a big loss. It's a different style, but with breakout, like I said, you have 40%.
An honest chart. It's a real trader's chart. It's a stable chart, no? Stable.
Yeah, stable, but a little bit wiggly, because when you have a 40% success rate, you always have a losing streak. So you may have 15, 20 trade in a row that are losing. So that's why you see this, small drawdown. After that, you see a big win. So this is the reality behind it. With Kinfo, what I like with it, so you can identify the symbol that you are profitable. So me as an algo trader, I always want to see which asset is performing more than the other one.
Mm.
And here you can see this is my year-to-date profit, but only stocks, because in this account I also trade future option with the help of Algo signal. So here I'm showing only stocks because the future option side is a little bit more complicated for the sake of simplicity. So here you see this is my P&L for this year on this account, around 73K for this year. And you can see also that with Kinfo, what is nice, you can see your top P&L symbol. You can see here that Algo made a lot of money on Nvidia, Apple, Shop. TMF, it's the 3X ETF, Treasury Bond, Netflix, Amazon. And you can also see my bottom symbol that are not performing so well. So for me, as an algo trader, I always say that it's like a soccer match. You always want to keep your A+ player on the field and remove the less performing one. So it's easier for me to identify with the help of Kinfo. And yeah, so far, we knock on wood, it will continue like that for the next year. Yeah, so this is you can see stocks, you can see future, but overall, this is year-to-date profit, and this is all the profit for this account on since the late 2018.
No, it's amazing how you've linked that's Kinfo Pro for those that don't know. There's a free month trial if anyone wants to take it. It's free to anyone who's got an account. But it's amazing how you use Kinfo and you use the data in line with your algorithm with the analogy of a football player. And I mean that's really how you think about it, right? It's like
Yeah.
these stocks are performing really well with the algorithm. I'm going to keep them on. I can add more to the position size. These ones aren't. Something wrong. I need to look into the data. Is that how it is mostly?
Exactly, 100%. You kind of rebalance, you see the good performing one, you put more money onto it, and the bad one, you replace them. So far you can say I have some Messi in my team. I have Mbappe and Ronaldo. And after that, I have to replace them.
Nah, it's and you've got some Division Two and Division Three players, but don't worry, they'll get substituted for the next the next rise and stall.
Yeah.
But whenever people talk about algorithms, everyone gets scared because they sound really complicated. So do you have a background in something similar as a job, or like how did you learn this?
Yeah, this is a nice question because I really don't have any coding background. I can code some basic stuff, but on my journey, I found out that there is some software. They are trading system builder software. So I only use this software. So I use Strategic Quant X. So basically, it is a software where you can select a bunch of indicator, RSI, Bollinger Band, you name it, VWAP, and so on. And after that, the software it's gonna do a lot of simulation. You're gonna smash all these rules together, and it will come up with some trading system. So I have multiple systems that I don't even understand the logic that I trade.
Wow.
Why I trade them? Because I have a robustness process that's filter out all the curve fitted strategy. Because with this kind of trading system builder, most of the time it will yield curve fit strategy. So it will look sexy on the backtest, but when you go live, you're gonna start losing money because
Yeah.
the system is not robust enough to trade with unseen data. So that's why it's important to have a workflow that will filter out the curve fit one and will give you only the robust one. So this software. So let's say I want to trade an RSI system, basic mean reversion system. I will select it in Strategic Quant X. It will generate the code. So from that, I can choose, okay, I want the code in easy language, with TradeStation or NinjaTrader or any other platform. It will generate the code for me. And from that, I will be able to trade it live and connect it directly to my broker account. So short answer, I don't really have a big background in coding. I know some basic stuff, but with the help of this software, I'm able to trade, knock on wood, successfully so far.
Ah, but I mean, it's amazing because I think uh, it's commonly said in trading that learning to trade isn't extremely difficult. To find an edge, most traders can do within 1 or 2 or 3 years. But to manage the emotional aspects of it and not take that ridiculous drawdown, to not lose patience one day, is the big problem that happens. I mean, I know strategies with 80% win rates. I know strategies that with 70% win rates. I know that the point to get in and out. I've backtested them against samples of thousands of data. So,
Yeah.
but I don't really have the time to sit in front of the market all day. So, but I like the research. So for someone like me or anyone else who I've described, this strategy is kind of perfect. Is it? Or would you say, oh,
Well, to be honest, the difficult part is trading a strategy with 40% success rate. Okay. I think as a human, we always want to trade something about 70, 80% and, let it go. But what I found out based on my testing, most of this high win strategy will tend to fail in live environment. And you have a higher chance that your strategy will perform if you have sub 40% win rate. I know it's counterintuitive, but this is what I found out. So the when you have like 10 loss, a losing streak, 15 loss losing streak, it's hard psychological, but if you have tested your system, you did the calculation, I don't know if you're famous with the risk of room,
no,
probability.
tell me.
So basically, um, it is a way of sizing your algo. So, for instance, if you size 2% of your max account and your win rate is about, 30% and your win-loss ratio is about, I don't know, of 1.5, your risk of ruin is pretty high. I mean, we can do it here. It's pretty easy. Um I can show it here. Yeah, you can go here and see risk of ruin. It's really so let's say you have a payoff of about 1.5. You risk 100, right? But you make 150. Your
Yeah.
accuracy, let's say, is 30%, and you risk 3% of your account. See, risk of 99%. So maybe you can work on the accuracy, maybe 5%. You are still nearly guaranteed of losing all your money. So you need to size your account accordingly. So if you have 40% and you risk 100 to make 200, and let's say you risk 0.5%, drop to zero, right? So with this information, even if you have 5, 10, 15 loss in a row, you are pretty much, not guaranteed, but you won't be ruined.
Yeah.
So this is the idea behind. You need to size accordingly with your algo. Of course, you will have some algorithmic that will not perform. They will fail in life, but you need to replace them with new one. So this is the tough part of the job. You always need to monitor your strategy. And this one, okay, it's having a drawdown. Is it normal compared to the backtest? If it exceeds the drawdown of the backtest, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna replace it with a new one. So yeah, basically,
So, how much of your time goes into watching the charts, and how much of your time goes into just managing the algorithmic data and results?
um, good question. Well, with Strategic Quant X or other similar trading system builder, you can build some workflow. So if you have a server, dedicated server that's run 24/7, what I do is I'm always running my system data miner. So I will choose to run it maybe on the NASDAQ, maybe on another stock, NVIDIA, whatever, and it will yield me some strategy. The goal for me is to have a lot of good player on the bench that are ready to play.
Yeah.
Sometimes it take a lot of time. Sometimes you can mine for nearly a week and you won't find something that is tradable. and you need to look for another symbol, another stock, another market, and so on. But the biggest chunk of my time go into monitoring. So at the end of the day, I always look at how my algo are performing. Is it, the loss that I have today, is it normal? Is it something that is comparable to the backtest and so on? So for instance, on this account, I trade the one that is tracked by Kinfo. I trade around probably 80 to 90 algo. So if you monitor 80 to 90 algo, that can take a little bit of time, but you have to do it to continue to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you're doing is you're defining an edge and then you're refining the edge. So you're defining
Yeah,
and then it's just refine, 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 refine. Oops, I took that out and my results have got worse. I need to probably put that back in. It's like
exactly.
constantly refining the edge, like you constantly train a football player to make him the best free kick taker, best penalty taker,
Yeah,
best right winger. Same thing.
yeah, sure, definitively. Especially when you have drawdown. We are all human. When you have drawdown, you start doubting yourself. Maybe
Mm.
you start losing it. So when you monitor, you track, you gain the confidence back. So you say, okay, this is a drawdown like the other one. So I will just need to continue to execute my trade like I did in the past, and I came back from this drawdown.
Can I have your algorithm? Can I give you like $10 a month for it or $15 a month, or is it's not for sale? Is there
Well,
is there a price for these things? I'm happy to work with your algorithm. I don't mind. I'm happy. I trust you.
well, yeah, I have a course with my partner where we sell algo trading course, and now we're thinking about leasing some algo. So the idea, this is what I like with Kinfo. You have to have skin in the game.
Yeah,
If you trade this algo, you have to show me that you trade it live with your real money.
yeah,
So if you pay, some monthly subscription, at least you want to know that the developer or the trader traded with his real
100%.
money. So yeah, it take a lot of time, but it pay at the end. It pay at
Yeah,
the end.
or I can just use your algorithm and I'll put some money in, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm just joking. Maybe I can find a way to pay. But do you want to break down? We've talked a lot about it. I just want to ask, uh, how did you get into this? Was it specifically because you saw the most profitable traders verified in the algorithmic traders? Is that how you got into it?
Yeah, like I've
You
said,
mentioned, yeah.
I've tried many style, many chat room, Twitter account, trading signal subscription, and it didn't work out. And when I came across a website that tried to bust, all the
Gurus,
financial,
yeah,
you know, uh, the guy was a machine, man. If you don't give your tax document, your financial statement, your broker statement, you are considered a fraud
yeah,
directly. And the only one that were able to provide their tax document, the financial statement, were the algo trader. So from that on, this was a good way, a good way to identify which strategy worked best. So this is why I started algorithmic trading on my end.
no, very interesting. But did you read any books on it to get started? Because I just people hear the word algorithm and get scared.
Yeah, I did read some book, but the thing is, in algo trading world, people are secretive with their algo. They don't want to share it because if they share it, many people will trade it, and they will lose the edge.
Yeah,
They will need to try a new one. The the information that I found is basically that that served me is finding a good robustness system because the first obstacle was okay, you need to learn how to code, but it take a lot of time. But the solution that you found is okay, there is some trading system builder that can find algo for you. So this was a good solution. From that on, okay, this system builder will generate a lot of curve fit system. So most of them will not perform live, but some of them will perform. So what's the feature, the function on this algo that make them still perform in live environment? So that was the challenge. So you have to do a lot of research, a lot of back testing, a lot of what we call incubation. I don't know if you're familiar with the term incubation.
I know the word, but not in trading.
Okay, so incubation, so basically when you build a system, you have the in-sample data,
Mm.
out-of-sample data. From there on, if you think that this algo is robust enough, you're gonna put it on sim, basically. So for the next three
Yeah.
months, 4 months, you're gonna
Uh,
see how it perform. If it perform well, you know, especially when there is a volatile market, if it's a bull market, everyone makes money, but you want a data set where there is a lot of chop, a lot of volatility. If your algo survive this kind of price action, you have a high likelihood that it will continue to perform in the past. So you have to have a lot of algo in incubation. And this is where strategic quant X is useful because you have a lot of algo that you can incubate. And at the end, you will select the one that you like, the one that seems to be robust, the one that have a good risk adjusted return, a good Sharpe ratio, good profit factor, and so on.
Very interesting. I think without further ado, we'll take a look at your strategy. If you're kind enough to be one of the few algo
Sure.
traders that can give an insight into their own system.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna share a simple strategy that you can build with Strategy Quant X. It is the turnaround Tuesday strategy. Like I've said, this strategy, it's only you can click, you don't need to code. So the logic behind it, we have to be Monday. The day have to be Monday. So you can see here, day of week equals Monday.
Just check.
And
I think you're not on. I'm seeing Kinfo still. Are you
you
screen
still,
sharing?
maybe let me share again. Okay, so this is the rule of the strategy. We call it turn around strategy. So you can see that the day of the week is Monday.
Mm,
The close has to be lower than the open. So you are expecting a red day on a Monday,
mm.
and you hold the strategy for 1 day only. So let me show you here. Yeah, you only hold for 1 day. Here you can see it has been tested on Apple. See?
Yeah.
You have a nice profit factor, you have a nice winning rate. For instance, this one is about 58%. And you can generate the code based on the platform of your choice, TradeStation, Strategic Quant S, Ninja Trader, MetaTrader, and so on. So this is the other side of the strategy. Give me a moment here. So here you see um, exit after 1 bar, you see, 1 bar
Mm.
only,
Yeah.
and simple stop loss of 5%. So usually the robust strategy are simple. You don't have many rule. So if you have two rule, close a red close on a Monday and you hold for 1 bar, and this strategy has been tested well over many years, you can see it's still profitable. So for the analytical people that will say, oh, look, you have a low annual return here, 1.9%. You see, this is just a test, If you tested, for instance, on UPRO is a 2-time SPY ETF, I'm going to show you the result. They are pretty interesting here. So this is the result on UPRO. UPRO, like I've said, is a 2x the SPY ETF, trading the market. You can see that your yearly average return is about 15%. Your drawdown pretty much normal, 14%. And you have a nice winning rate, you know.
Yeah.
And you see, this is what the kind of testing that you have to do as an algo trader. You start with an idea, even if the result doesn't look as good, but you can, take the same strategy, test it on other sample, for instance, the market, because there are some people who say, yeah, if you trade only Apple, how do you know that Apple will still be performing in the next year? And Nvidia, maybe it's, it's survivorship bias. So there's a solution for that. You can trade the ETF of the
Yeah.
track them. So you can see it's pretty, it's tradable for 15% return, 14% drawdown, nice profit factor, nice winning rate. And like I've showed you with the risk of ruin calculator, you can calculate the sizing of this strategy. You know how much you will risk to avoid a potential room. The goal is to have multiple strategy like that to avoid, if it stopped working, you can replace it easily with another one, and so on. Also, I'm going to share another thing that I like with Kinfo. I don't know if a lot of people use it, is you can extract all your trade into a CSV file. So my goal right now is to reduce the volatility of my equity curve, because as you saw, it's a little bit wiggly because it's a breakout algo. Breakout algo is not as smooth as the mean reversion or the short only seller. This is a test that I did. Maybe it can help somebody else that will watch this video. So this is a pretty straightforward graph. What I did is I extracted all my trade, put it in Excel, and I tried to simulate if, I am better at reducing my position size if I hit 5% drawdown. Is it better? Will it generate more profit? Will I have a better sharp in the future? And so on. So here, this is my performance, the blue line. This is the performance from Kinfo. You see, it's a little bit wiggly,
Yeah.
But what I simulated is, okay, I try to reduce my allocation by 50% if I hit a 5% drawdown. And strangely enough, you make more profit, You can see the green line, you make more profit and you have lower drawdown. And I also try to see if I reduced my allocation by 75% when I hit 5% drawdown. And ironically enough, you make more profit. You see, this is a big, big difference between the red line and the blue line. And it's, you have lower drawdown. Yeah, you can have, the only downside is you have, a lot of, stagnation at some point because you reduce the size. So it makes sense. You will not make back the profit as easily as before, but you reduce the drawdown. But when it's time to break out, it catch the full amount. So this is interesting. I was able to do it because of Kinfo, ability to extract trade. And yeah, another thing is when the equity hit a new all-time high, the position size go 100%. So it go back to the initial position sizing. So yeah, I hope it helps somebody who try to refine his process.
No, I think it's an amazing way to educate people on a different style of trading, because the main educators with the biggest voices are more or less saying the same kinds of things of like day trading without an algorithm. You take the trades, trade between 9 and 11, but it's a completely different strategy that you've got that's formed in a completely different way. So it's really good for opening people's eyes. But what would you say if someone new wanted to get started tomorrow? What's the first steps to do, and what's this platform? Is this platform the one that you just mentioned earlier? Is it X Trade?
Yeah, strategic one X. So first thing first, the fact that we have Kinfo now, you can track the most profitable trader and try to learn from them. So this is the first step to do. I'm well aware that there is better trader than me, and so on. But just by choosing a good educator is by itself can save you a lot of money. So with Kinfo, it's easy to do. Second thing, if you want to take the route of algo trading, try to use system builder, trading system builder like Strategic Quant X. It's really a nice software. It will save you a lot of time. You don't need to learn how to code, because learning how to code take a lot of time. So you may, abandon the idea because it takes a lot of time, but with trading system builder, it's much easier. You have a lot of tools that you can use to filter out curve fit system. And also this software, there is always new updates. You have a nice customer service. There's a big community that will help you out if you have some question and so on. Yeah, strategic quant S can help you, but the most important thing is that you need to have a well-defined process to filter out curve fit system. So this is the key. So I know a lot of people who trade algo based on trading system builder, but are not successful because their process of filtering it out is not good. So you need to choose an educator that's trade the same style as you successfully with their real money. So you can reproduce this kind of result. Because the thing is, some people will try, I'm sure you're aware of that, some people will follow really successful educator that have a Kinfo account, but they don't have the same result. The thing, why? Because maybe and probably he's not using the same position size, But with Algo, you are really, digging into the number. So if you're trading an algo, okay, what is the allocation? What is your average loss? What is your max loss? What is your max drawdown? What is your worst drawdown in the past? Have you sized accordingly? So if you mimic this kind of statistic in your own trading, in your own account, you will highly likely have the same performance than your educator because you're replicating exactly the same playbook, exactly the same allocation and strategy and so on. So yeah, hope it helps.
No, it makes full sense. Just one or two questions to close out, but just to say, we'll drop your details, we'll drop the platform details in the YouTube description if anyone wants to click or they need it or they want to learn a little bit from your style or your trading. Do you ever lose sleep at night looking at an algorithm and thinking you're just one tweak away from a multi-million-dollar strategy?
No, not
Do you know
really.
what I mean?
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, but no, if multi-million dollar, you need to use leverage because um, you can find a really nice strategy that's work well in live, environment with real money, but you need to trade some pretty liquid instrument and you need to press heavy size, you can't buy a Lambo if you try, you allocating only $20,000. You need to press heavy,
Yeah, yeah,
when you look at the best trader of all time, Drunken Miller, Ed Sekota, James Simons. So their annual rate, the best one I think is Jim Simons. It was 66% per year, and
yeah,
these guys was trading like multi-billion. So
yeah.
the best of the best made 66% in a year. So how much do you need to make a million in 1 year? So you need probably a lot of money to
Nah,
just
I
make.
get it. It's a long
Yeah,
game. It's the long it's
yeah,
the long it's the long path to millions, right? It's the long game.
yeah, yeah,
Makes
sure, sure.
sense. Do you think algorithmic trading will eventually just wipe retail out?
Yes, because emotion are really hard to control, really, really hard. You know, um, you know, Even if you have the discipline, it will come a day or two. I don't know. Your dad or mom died, and you have a position on, and you don't have the energy, mental clarity to take a trade, to close the trade. We are human, so we are weak by definition because we have emotion. But with algo trading, it's automatic. It will buy, it will sell. There is no discussion around it, and you can close the computer and go other thing. That's may be helpful for you. But I think in the future, yeah, especially with Chat GPT, right now you can easily code an algo. And if you put in the work, it's easily doable. But on my end, this is based on my experience. I know I'm weak, man. I know with emotion, you can. It's easy. You take the trade, you think it's gonna go higher, it hit your stop, mental stop. There's a lot of people talking about mental stop. It hit your stop, and you will still lose more money than you thought of. So that's why I prefer algo trading. It keep me in check from my
Yeah.
end.
For me, my emotions are all over the place, so it's probably if I'm ever going to make it in trading, algo is probably the way forward as well. And it's going to wipe retail anyway, so you may as well get in now.
Yeah. I mean, it will help. It will really help, and a lot of people, especially on the short side. I've heard like recently there is the ticker on Twitter, drug.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
wipe
yeah,
a lot of people out, and because if you had an algo, even if there is a halt and it go beyond, at least you will exit with a loss. But if you think, oh,
yeah.
it's gonna drop back, it's tough game, tough game.
Uh, now it's been fantastic to talk to you, fantastic to hear your experience, fantastic to see, be enlightened by this new perspective. So appreciate your time. If you've got any final words, I'll let you have them before we close out.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you too, Stefan. And yeah, for all the traders that are watching, that are struggling, everyone has a different path. Just from my end, I've blow up a lot of account in the past. I even loan money and I blow up this account. But with persistence, consistency, and having the right mentor, the right patient, you can make it. You need to be patient. Patient will help you a lot, and consistency. Don't be optimistic. Future looks bright. Good
Perfect
luck.
words. Thank you.